struggle. It has been proved that most small businesses struggle at its infancy stage when businesses are below 5 years old. They really, really struggle, to actually stand on their own feet. But then that is why it is very important that with such an opportunity that you have of being able to learn, you will be able to acquire some skills that are going to make you to survive the first 5 years, start growing the business until you succeed. So some of these small and medium enterprises that we are talking about succeed, but others fail. And the difference between the two is in applying the knowledge, applying management skills in their business. So the purpose of today's lesson or presentation is to discuss some of the possible causes of failure of some businesses. And we are going to endeavor to also not only identify those possible causes, but we'll be able to also give you the possible solutions that you can actually apply in those particular businesses. So firstly, let us look at poor financial practices before my colleague takes us in the next item. Poor financial practices is one of the most common faults that small business owners make. Many owners of micro and small enterprises do not have sufficient principles that they need to follow when they are handling money. Money has become something that makes a lot of small businesses to stumble because of how they apply or that money or how they actually spend that money. And as we go on, we'll be able to go into some detail. But among several principles to follow in order to manage a successful business is the principle of managing money effectively. Managing money effectively. I believe that we did a lesson on managing money recently, isn't it, Mr. Mutes?
Yes, please.
There was a topic, was it last month?
Yeah.
Where we were looking at the different steps, the detailed steps on how you need to manage your money. Money, as we said in the previous lesson when we were looking at business planning, it was learned that money is one of the resources in the business. Money is one of the tools that you need to run a business. Therefore, you need proper planning and record keeping. We did, I think, the lesson on this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We were looking at business planning. And we talked about a lot of things with regard to how you need to plan for your business. So proper planning requires that you have a well-written out plan on how that particular business is going to be run. You need to keep records. And some of the records that you need to keep are very simple for a small business. For instance, and I've seen my friend Alex Shinjikinya welcome. He says, I'm following. Let's take an example of Mr. Shinjikinya's business. We have visited him before. He has a grocery shop in the main market, and it is well stocked and doing well. So some of the records that Mr. Shinjikinya needs to keep are records of stock. When he buys his groceries, he needs to have a record of what he has bought, the quantity of what he has bought, the price of every single item, And then he's going to have that stock record with prices of each commodity in terms of how much he will be selling those items, what is the markup on top, and when he's selling, he's supposed to have a cash book. Your cash book is going to show the money that is coming in when you sell and the money that is going out when you spend. It is that simple. So you're going to divide your book into two columns, the left side and the right side. So the left side is going to show perhaps the income, and the right side is going to show the expenditure. And then at the end of every day or every week, you're going to have a closing balance. And it's going to show you how much money you have made versus how much money. That is what is going to show you your profitability. It's also going to show you whether your business is growing in terms of your finances, whether it has stagnated, are you making a profit, are you making a loss, are you just breaking even? So it's very, very important that we have proper planning and proper micro and small scale businesses do not do these important activities. And instead, they handle money of the business. Sometimes you remember when the mines opened in Solwezi?
Yes.
We had a lot of business opportunities.
Indeed.
A lot of contractors were doing business with the mines. But we used to see a few contractors, for instance, who were very, very careless with their money. And today, they are out of business.
Indeed.
Some contracts that were given to them involved receiving money in advance. There are certain projects that the mine was doing that time where they would give a down payment. There are certain projects that government has done where they have given advance payments, down payments to some contractors. But we heard stories of how these contractors would rather go to South Africa to buy a Porsche car so that everyone can see that these are contractors and they're doing well. That is not proper usage of money, because what happens is, for example, you are given a contract as a small scale contractor to build maybe a house or maybe to build an office block. So that project maybe is going to cost you, you have done your bills of quantities, and the project is going to cost, for example, 500,000 kwacha. And you are given a down payment of 150,000 kwacha to mobilize. So when you get money that is meant for a project, and let's say from 150 you get a 50,000, and you start renovating your own house, and you are remaining with 100,000 that you're supposed to use in the project, that is where we see poor quality projects being executed. Why? Because now you begin to cut corners. You begin to compromise in the mixture of cement versus sand. You begin to compromise in the quality of the products that you're going to buy. So instead of you buying maybe proper fittings like maybe plugs and sockets and whatever, instead of you buying things that are original according to the specifications, you go and buy cheap stuff, second-hand stuff, where when they are installed, less than 6 months' time, those things need replacement. And such practices have caused a lot of small businesses who have been told by the companies that have contracted them, or even the government, to redo the works at their own cost. That, dear learners, should be avoided. So what are we saying? Under poor financial practices, let us learn to, utilize our finances properly. Let us have good financial practices. Let us budget properly. Let us plan for our businesses properly. Let us keep records, and let us use the money intended for business properly in the business.
Thank you. The next reason, which has seen actually many small businesses failing, is fear of the unknown. Before starting business, some entrepreneurs have had that fear of the unknown. They fear to say, maybe I will fail. And if I happen to fail, my colleagues and other people will laugh at me. That is the fear of the unknown. You already have, a fear of saying, maybe as I start, the whole lot of my money will go in, then I'll remain with nothing, and people will start laughing at me. That is the fear of the unknown. Some businessmen will fear that when they happen to succeed in their businesses, then they will be bewitched and they may end up dying. That also is the fear of the unknown. Why should they bewitch you? We have seen a lot of successful businesses around, and we haven't heard that the owners have been bewitched. Take, for example, ShopRite. Who has bewitched the ShopRite owner? But very successful they are. So indeed, this fear of the unknown, as somebody who is going into business, let us not have this fear. Let us have the courage. Let us say, all right, I have resolved that I'm going into this business, and I have already got my plan in place. I have the vision. Let me start this business. Okay? So let us not have this fear of failure, right? As long as you follow the rightful procedure, you will definitely not fail. And there is no one who is coming over to bewitch you. If anything, they should have bewitched you even before you start your business. That is the second reason why people fail in business. The third one is lack of inclusiveness. Some businesses fail because they lack inclusiveness in the manner entrepreneurs run their enterprises. For example, one spouse, which is your wife or your husband, may initiate and run a business at the exclusion of the other spouse and their children. Members of the family who have been left out will not support that kind of business. Moreover, they may become liabilities on the business by making unrealistic financial demands because they do not understand how this business operates. So, as entrepreneurs, let us make sure that as we go into this business, our spouses know what we are doing, so that in case we are not there, they should be able to stand in and help out. Okay? Maybe we can go to the fourth one now.
Thank you very much. Dear learners, I hope we are following each other. We've already given you 3 examples or reasons why small businesses fail. Remember, that is the topic for today. Why do these small businesses fail? We are giving you these points so that the opposite of that is going to be why a small business can succeed. So we have looked at poor financial practices. If poor financial practices is a reason for failure, then good financial practices will be a reason for success. The second one we have looked at is fear of the unknown, fear of failure. So if fear of failure can make your businesses to fail, then it means that courage and boldness and going into the deep waters without fear is going to make you succeed. Then the third one is lack of inclusiveness. If lack of inclusiveness can make you to fail, then including others, family members, training them in the business, creating a succession plan is what is going to make your business to succeed and to last beyond your generation. Let us go to the fourth one, dear learners. And for those of you who are following us on Facebook, you will be able to see our PowerPoint presentation. Ignorance is the fourth reason why business owners can fail. Some businesses also fail because their owners do not invest in knowledge acquiring, in knowledge acquirement. They don't invest in skills to enable them to run their businesses effectively. Again, we like giving you real examples. So some of you, our learners, have grocery stores. Some of you, our learners, are welders. Some of you have got small transportation businesses. Others are carpenters. Most of you are small-scale farmers. You are involved in gardening. You are involved in pottery. A few of you have dug fish ponds. Whatever business that you may be doing requires some special skills. In fact, one of the things that we need to share with you is that before you begin any business, do not make a decision to go into a business because you have heard that this business, or this type of business rather, is very profitable and lucrative. Do not make your business decisions. You have retired and you have heard that there is money in ginger farming. Don't make your decision based on hearsay. You need to acquire knowledge, first of all, on how to go about producing that product. You need to scan the environment, and we're going to look at that. You need to know the viability of that business. You need to know the ups and downs of that business so that you can put in place some mitigation measures in case things go wrong. Only after doing a thorough study of that particular business can you invest a coin in that business. Let us learn from the big business people. Like, for example, the mines, the large-scale mines like Kansanshi did not just hear that there is copper in Solwezi and they bring their machines. They had to do studies for many years. They did feasibility studies. You know, they came and surveyed the place, looked at, you know, the quality of the minerals, how much minerals are there, and so on and so forth, before they invested their first coin. Okay. So we are also talking about small business people who do not want to invest in acquiring knowledge. As a result, they are not up to date with current affairs that can help them to run their businesses successfully. So let us invest in knowledge. Invest in knowledge to run that, poultry business successfully. Invest in knowledge to run that piggery business successfully. Learn the market trends. Learn the ropes in how you are supposed to manage that particular type of business properly, and you are likely to succeed.
Thank you. The fifth reason why some businesses fail is the inability to scan the environment. Inability to scan the environment. This is when somebody just goes into a business just because they heard that this type of business is profitable without actually going into, investigating how that business is done and what will be needed in order to go into that business. Then you will find you would have problems. Many entrepreneurs start a business without conducting an environmental scan. Environmental scan is actually a research. You go out there to check, get, facts about that particular environment. This can help them or help you as an entrepreneur to select a viable business idea. There are quite a number of questions an environmental scan can help to answer, such as the following. 1. What products or services does your business idea entail or involve? Here you are looking at products. First, you go into that environment, find out, because when you go into an environment, you go there not only to make money, but to solve the problem in that particular environment. So now, in trying to solve a problem in an environment, you are looking for what is it that I can take to them which will alleviate the problems that they have. So what products do the people in, for example, Kazomba are having problems to access? When you answer that question, you'll be able to take the rightful products which the people in Kazomba require. The second question would be, do you have the required competencies or management ability, the experience, and the know-how to run a business that will produce these products or services? Remember, listeners, you must, as an entrepreneur, know your products very well. You will not be selling anything that you do not know. For example, if you are a poultry farmer, you must know how to take care of chickens. And those chickens actually will be talking to you every now and again. Yes, they actually give you the problems that they are facing. So if you do not know how to talk to your chickens, then you have a problem. The third one is, who are the proposed target customers for those products or services? At the beginning, we said you should be able to go into the community which you want to penetrate and find out the people who live there. How do they go around with their business? What is it that they are lacking? This information will give you the type of products that you should deliver to them. What makes you feel your proposed target customers need these products or services? Ask yourself that question. Yes, those people need, for example, radios. What makes you think that the people in Kazomba need radios? Answer that question, and then you will be able to succeed in your business of taking radios to Kazomba. The next question is the demand for the proposed products or services high and continuing? Is there any demand for the products that you want to take to Kazomba? Otherwise, if you have not answered this question correctly, you will take products to Kazomba and no one will buy them because they are not on demand. Or it will be a one-off thing. You take them there. Yes, today they have bought, but when they finish, there is no longer any demand for such. And that is poor business. So understand and make sure you get proper information on the products that you need to take in the field, and the customers constantly talk to them. They will be able to give you the demands. What will it cost you to produce those products or services? This is the cost of doing the business. How much will you need to go into this business? We have come across people who have tried to do chickens without actually looking at the cost of doing that business. They end up failing to grow these chickens to table size. And you hear that, oh, my chickens, these chickens are not growing. Why? Because you didn't budget well for the feed. And that's why now you end up giving them gag. They will not grow. You see? So make sure that you know the actual cost of producing the products that you want to produce, or is it doing the services? You must make sure you have the correct cost. Are the prices of those products or services going to be affordable to your customers? Yes. We said you do an environmental scan, you go into there, find out what type of people live there. Are they workers? Are they farmers? Maybe they are a low-income group of people. Now, in such a community, if you take goods which are very expensive, you will have problems to sell them because they will be too unaffordable, too expensive for those people there. So make sure you understand the customers that you are going to deal with. What is the level of competition involving the suggested products or services? This is another very important question that you ask yourself. When you go into that community, find out who are your competitors. How good are these competitors? When you get those answers, then you actually put yourself in a position to actually engage into competition with those. Otherwise, if you go there, you have not understood your competitors, then you will actually find yourself not getting established there. You will just come in, then competition will kick you out of business. So please let us be careful. Let us make sure that we scan our environment. We make this research before going into there. If the level of competition is high, what will be your proposed competitive advantage? Yes. You have seen the shops which are around those which are opposite Pick and Pay. Okay, most of them were doing very well before the coming in of Pick and Pay. But when Pick and Pay came, they became actually a very difficult competitors for those people who were doing business on the other side. And most of them have actually gone. They are no longer doing business. Why? Because they have failed to compete with Pick and Pay. Okay. What resources will be required to run such a proposed business? I'm sure this one I covered it. You must know the resources that you will need in order to run that kind of business. If you want to be a contractor, do you have the machinery? Because if they give you a road, then you don't have these graders and so forth. You depend on hoys. You are the type of person who will do a shoddy work, and you will fail. Are you capable of mobilizing the required resources? Those are the resources. Are you able to mobilize them? Where are these resources? Are they nearby? And if they are far, do you have the resources to move to that place to bring in those resources? Where will these resources be mobilized from, and at what cost? Is the political environment conducive for that business idea? There are certain business ideas which political environment may not be happy with. Okay? Certain businesses, you cannot do them here in Zambia. No. For example, here in Zambia, you cannot be allowed to sell ganja. You cannot sell chamba here. Why? Because the environment does not allow. But if you went to Jamaica, chamba is just like vegetables, you buy them anywhere. You see? So that political environment, is it conducive for the type of business that you want to do? Answer that question and you'll be able to actually do your business without any problems with the government. Is the social cultural environment conducive for that business idea? This one also, cultural environment, the social environment, there are certain social and cultural ideas or things that happen. For example, we have our friends, the Muslims. They do not eat anyhow, like, okay, the meat that is slaughtered in our butcheries here, they will not partake of such. So if you are going to penetrate the Muslim environment, make sure that you know how to slaughter those animals for them to be able to buy. They believe in halal. That is a special way in which they prepare their animals. Is the technology for the proposed business there? You look at the technology now. Is it there for that proposed business? Otherwise, if the technology is not there, you may fail to even start because there is no technology. Is the legal environment conducive for that kind of business idea? Is it allowed? Like the other example which I gave. The legal environment, they don't allow chamba here in Zambia. So that environment is not conducive for that business. Will the business be profitable and sustainable? Here we are saying, as entrepreneurs, all of us, if you go into business, your main objective is to make money. So you have to scan the environment and look at your business. Is it able to generate money? Are you going to have profit? Is it sustainable? There is no fun in going into a business which will constantly be unprofitable, because your capital will go. Are the suppliers of the raw materials and other inputs for the business readily available and constant? Are the inputs readily available? I think we even mentioned in one of the other questions there, we are saying, if you go into there, make sure that the raw materials that you want to use are readily available, or they should be near where you can easily reach them and collect them for you to be able to do business. Where will the business be located? And is the area conducive and strategic? Before you start your business, you'll find where here now you are looking for an area or a market where you want to start your business. Is this place conducive? Is it strategic? Are you near the customers? This is what you look for. If over 70% of the above questions which I have asked can be answered easily and truthfully, it can safely be assumed that that type of environment is ripe and fit for such a business idea to be translated into an actual business enterprise. So those are the questions we have asked. You have asked yourself. We want you to ask those and answer them. If you find that 70% of them have been answered correctly and easily, then let it be. You go into that type of business. Can now move to the next.
Thank you very much. So, dear learners, I hope we are following each other. We have so far given you 5 points. The first one was poor financial practices. The second one was fear of failure. So we are saying let's not fear. Lack of inclusiveness was the third one. Ignorance was the fourth one. And we are saying let us thrive in knowledge. Let us be hungry for knowledge. The fifth one was inability to scan the environment. And then we are now going to look at managerial weaknesses. Managerial weaknesses. A shortfall in management competences and skills has caused a lot of businesses to fail. Some businessmen and some business women have no idea, for instance, about elements of a business plan. Now, that is a separate topic that we are going to take you through in one of the months to come. But a business plan is very, very important for a manager. Remember, we always encourage you and remind you in this training program that every one of you, every entrepreneur, every business owner is a manager. A manager is one who manages. A manager is one who plans or spearheads planning. But most small business owners cannot plan properly. They cannot therefore write a business plan. They cannot carry out a monitoring and evaluation exercise of their business performance. Every business must be monitored. Every business must be measured or evaluated. Your garden business can be monitored and evaluated. Your piggery business can be monitored and evaluated. Your barber shop can be monitored and evaluated. Including that restaurant, it can be monitored and evaluated so that you can measure your business performance. So what follows the above weaknesses is that, firstly, entrepreneurs do not separate the business entities from themselves and their families. Most family businesses fail because of that aspect of failure to separate the business owners from the business. So that business becomes a source of our pocket money. But what do we need to do? We need to learn to separate our businesses from ourselves by putting in systems. So that grocery business that you are running, the stock items, the cash that comes into the business does not belong to the owner. It belongs to the business. And that is why you need to put yourself on a small allowance as a small business. So that if you want to buy personal things, you can buy them from your personal money. And let us learn to reinvest in the business. So for instance, you can say, I've invested 5,000 kwacha in this trade or trading activity, and I have made a profit of maybe 1,200 kwacha. From that 1,200 kwacha, you need to have a specific tangible amount that you are going to invest back into the business. There has to be a percentage of the profits that are reinvested in the business. So if your capital was 5,000, the next time you're going to buy your goods, you need to have maybe 6,000. Because what 6,000 will buy and what 5,000 will buy are different. You're going to have more stock. You're going to widen your profit margins, because business, especially trade, is about volumes. If you see how the Indians operate, we need to learn from them. Just take note of any Indian shop in Solwezi. Most of you who operate from maybe Kiawama area, there is that big shop called NR. Go into NR or come to town center. Go into Junkie. Go into Jade's Wholesale. One thing that you're going to notice in those shops is that they stock items, sometimes items which are not very expensive. So they'll stock cheap items such as pens, they'll stock folders, small things. But then in the same shop, they will also stock items which are very expensive. They believe that every coin in the business counts. They believe that even if the profit margin on one folder is 15 ngwe, if they sell 200 of those, then they would have made something. They believe in volumes. So we need to separate ourselves from the businesses that we are running. Secondly, spend money and other resources of the business carefully. But most of our entrepreneurs spend that money carelessly as they regard them to be their own. Therefore, they eat into the capital. We have visited a lot of entrepreneurs that we have trained, And most of them will tell us that before they started attending the business development training program, they did not know how to manage their money. They would eat into their capital. So they were running a very lucrative business which was not growing. But when they started attending the training, they realized that they needed to start saving. They needed to start accounting for the money. And most of those businesses have now grown because they have learned the art of financial prudence. The other thing that happens is that many entrepreneurs do not have innovative ideas, not only to sustain their businesses, but also expand them. Dear learners, please take note of this. We are living in a world where the most innovative business people are going to be the most successful business people. And if you are a small business and you have registered your business, I would like you to affiliate your business to the chamber, because through the chamber, very soon, we are going to start having some specialized training in access to climate funds. I will not go into detail because it's a long topic, but there are experts we're going to bring, and they're going to show you how you can, what they call, green your business. Remember, the government, His Excellency the President has now created the Ministry of Green Economy. There is a concept behind that, and we'll be able to explain that. But there are funds that people can apply for when they are innovative and they green their businesses. So for instance, if you're a small-scale farmer, you can be creative by, nowadays you don't need a stream to farm. You can invest into what is called drip irrigation. That is innovation. You can dig a well. You can put up a tank. And as you water your crops with drip irrigation, you'll be saving a lot of water. You can put up a solar pump at a farm. That is innovation which climate funding would attract. Okay? So you can apply for such funds because you are already doing something to green your business. So we need to be innovative. Innovation talks about adding value to your products. Innovation talks about how you package your product, how you market your product. Nowadays, we have social media. Now, let me talk a bit about social media. Let us learn to make money through social media. Most of us buy bundles, 50 kwacha bundles per week. The only thing we do is chat on Facebook, chat on WhatsApp. We forward messages of jokes and all those things. But did you know that we are now living in a virtual economy where you can market your watermelons via social media? You can market your chilies. You can market your grocery store. And people will know where you are located. And some people will make orders online. They will send you a message. Can you deliver for me 20 cabbages? And you deliver and they give you money. Let us be innovative in order to sustain our businesses. Then the aspect of budgeting. Budgeting can also be a problem for businessmen and women who do not have enough knowledge on how to go about budgeting. And yet a budget helps entrepreneurs in planning. and checking progress. Budgeting is very important because a budget is a financial plan which shows you how much money you need to do a certain activity, what you are going to spend on what, when are you going to spend it, where is the money going to come from. A budget is very important. That's why we have a national budget. That's why we have institutional budgets. That's why we have business budgets. Budgeting is very important because even when you want to get financial assistance from a financial institution and they ask you to do a business plan, one of the things they want to see is your budget and your cash flow. So budgeting is very important because if you cannot budget, it shows that you are not a good planner. So a budget is a key tool that businessmen and women should have. We need knowledge, enough knowledge on how to go about budgeting, because a budget is a financial plan and you can use it to check progress and to review your plans. Okay. Then many businesses also are not serious about good customer service. Now, this is in our experience as trainers and as consultants. I always tell myself that if there is a training that I can offer for free, if I can be given an opportunity by many corporate institutions, including some banks, I'm very glad that I bank with a very good bank. Stanbic is my bank. Fortune World banks with Stanbic. My personal account is with Stanbic. They're very good in terms of customer care. But there are some banks that I've gone into, and I'll not mention their names because it's not my job to the campaign. But maybe I'll approach them so we can train their people for free. When you enter a business environment, that environment must be inviting. It is not good. It's not a sign that you are doing well if you cannot manage queues. We need to be very good in terms of customer service. When your customer comes into your shop, welcome them, be attentive to them, give them good quality service, and you are going to grow your business. Customer service is everything that a business does in order to satisfy a customer before, during, and after interaction. Yes, a customer may walk into your shop. They may not buy the product there and then. They will come and look, ask you a few questions, ask this, ask that, and they walk away. Don't feel bad. If you have received them very well and they have seen that you are caring, they will come back maybe a day after, maybe a month after, and they will tell other people that that business is very good at customer service. Customer service is everything. Customer service also includes being honest in the way we price our products. You know, I had a conversation with my fellow business persons yesterday. And this friend of mine tells me that, you know, most of us Zambian businessmen, we chase away customers. Why? Because we want to order a product at 50 kwacha and we want to sell it at 250. That's not good customer service. That's not ethical. So let us be involved in very good customer care, and our customers will always come. Customer service is critical. to the success of a business, because no matter how much you spend on promoting your business or advertising it, or no matter how much you spend on renovating your premises or hiring the right employees, if the service is poor, all those efforts are in vain and your business may fail. So let us do the right thing. Let us be good at customer service, and we are going to see our business succeeding.
Thank you. The other reason why businesses actually fail is the dependency factor. The dependency factor. You only depend on others to do things for you. And now there comes a day when that which you were expecting did not come. What happens? That business definitely fails. A number of enterprises fail because businessmen and women believe that they can only expand their businesses if they have help from, for example, say the government or banks. A good example of such assistance expected is Farming Input Support Program, FISIP. We have seen many of our friends, the farmers, only believe that they can go into farming only after receiving the FISIP, the support from government. As we are talking today, a good number of farmers did not even engage into farming because they did not receive this support. Now, that is not the right, direction to go. If you need to be supported, first show what you can do on your own. Start on your own. Then those who will come to support you is to actually grow your business or assist you to move forward. So please, as entrepreneurs, let us start small with whatever resources that we have. Then as you ask for assistance, let those who assist you add on what you already have. And that's the only way to go.
Great. The other thing that causes small businesses to fail is poor business ethics. Business ethics involve acceptable standards of behavior that are expected from businessmen and women in the conduct of their business if they are to succeed. Members of the public expect to be treated fairly by the business people. Let me give another example. I gave an example of overpricing. That is not ethical. Another example is, the unprofessional way of how we handle our customers. Let's say, for instance, you are a transporter. Transporters are very, very, very guilty, many of them, not all, very guilty of not being ethical in terms of how they treat customers. Do not harass members of the public. When they come, they want to get into your bus. Do not allow cowboys to harass your customers. That is something we need to work on as business people in this country. A lot of people are put off when they are sending parcels. There are some courier companies coming up now. You go to the bus stop there, you take your little carton box, you pay, they give you a receipt, and they promise you, tomorrow, sir, it will be on the bus, the first bus. The parcel will arrive in Lusaka by 15:30 hours. What do? Probably they put that parcel on another bus, which starts off very late and charges for those parcels cheaply. So they pocket the balance of the money. And that product takes maybe, it's delayed by 48 hours. Maybe the other person was supposed to receive that product and supply it to their clients, and they would have lost out on business. Okay. So examples of poor business ethics may, as I have said already, include overpricing, selling underweight and poor quality goods is another bad ethic. Arrogance towards customers, as I've already said. Hoarding goods and services. To hoard, HOARDING, hoarding, is especially done by the big businesses who may hoard stock because they have heard that there's going to be a price increase. So for instance, you're a filling station and you hear that in the next 24 hours, the government will increase the price of fuel. And you hoard it, you stop selling, you tell people there's no fuel. So that when the prices are revised, you will sell the old stock at new prices. That is a bad, practice in terms of ethics. Unfair competition is also another example that we can give. So if entrepreneurs do not observe and follow ethical standards, their businesses may go down as a result. Entrepreneurs should therefore try as much as possible to adhere to the following standards in the running of their businesses. Firstly, they must always act within the law. Okay? It is very, very important that we observe all legal requirements concerning the conduct of our business. Legal requirements will include paying taxes, having the right licenses, observing public health, business hours, and so forth. So let's always act within the law. Secondly, let us treat others with respect, because respect involves codes of behavior during business dealings with customers. Let us not be rude to people who come into our shops or into our business premises. Let us greet them. Don't be on the phone, on a personal call, when a customer is standing in front of you and you are ignoring them. Those things happen every day. I've experienced that. You walk into a shop and someone is serving you. They are not even looking at you. They're on the phone. Very poor business practices. And we shop owners who have employees, let us teach our employees good customer care, or give us a call so that we can come and give short talks to your customers, to your employees. We can even do some of these programs for free. We can have 1 hour during lunch where we can come and talk to them. That is what will make you to succeed in business. Let us treat others with respect. We need to be open. We need to be truthful. We need integrity in the way we do business. We need integrity. Let us now also be honest. Honesty is very important. You as a businessman or woman should be honest in all your business dealings. Avoid the temptation of cheating any worker, cheating a customer, cheating a supplier, or cheating a partner. I can give a very good example. There is a certain person that we entrusted with goods a few weeks ago, and they went to sell those goods because Fortune World also runs a farm. and the farm is doing quite well. So we gave them a lot of bags of chilies to go and sell. They said they're going to sell for us. And we wanted to establish a good business relationship because we know that for us, those products will keep on coming and we'll be harvesting. We have a lot of chilies and we'll be harvesting for the next 3 years or so. So they went, they sold, and they never remitted the money. It's now over a month. We need to be honest. That person is cut off. Our product keeps growing. So we are learning the hard way. Next time, the second time, we had to take our own workers to go and sell. And the money came. But what has that person done? They have cut themselves from the source. There are other Zambians that we have heard of. They have had an opportunity to go to China. The Chinese would entrust them with goods. Others have gone to Dubai. They have been given containers of household items to come and sell. Maybe building materials to come and sell. They did it the first time. The second time after selling, and these are goods worth millions, they just removed their SIM cards from the phones, changed the numbers, and today they cannot go back to those sources. So let's avoid the temptation of cheating. Don't cheat your workers. I've heard of contractors, when they are paid, maybe by the mining company, they don't pay their workers. Instead, they go for holidays. Don't cheat your workers. Don't cheat your customers. Don't cheat your suppliers. Good conduct in your dealings with workers, with customers, with suppliers, and the general public can be of great benefit to your image, growth, and success of your business. So be trustworthy. Be somebody that other business people can recommend you to bigger businesses. There are some of you are doing very well. Some of you have wholesale shops. And some of the goods you sell are just given to you on credit. So trade kings will come, they'll offload. This company will bring their drinks. This company will bring whatever it is. And you are selling honestly and you are remitting the money. That is good for your image and for your business growth.
Okay, the next one is monitoring and evaluation of a business. Monitoring and evaluating the performance of your business to determine how well your business is doing should be done from time to time. Dear listeners, it is important that every time, at least from time to time, you do what? You evaluate, monitor and evaluate the performance of your business. How do you do this? You remember when you started your business, you had to come up with a business plan. When you wrote your business plan, you stated your vision, your mission. You had also to state your goals, which are the objectives and strategies. In short, you put down a plan on what you want to do for a period of time. What the business was established to do and achieve, this is what you came up with. You had your budget prepared, and also the income and expenditure was carefully outlined. These two documents are very important because these are the ones, they are the tools that you will use in order to monitor the performance of your business. What you'll be doing here, you'll be looking at the actual. What are you doing now in your business? Then compare with what is already on your business plan and your budget. You are saying, I planned this. Is this what I'm doing now? So if the answer is no, you have gone off target, then you should be able now to come in and control. These goals which you set for yourself will now be used to measure how well your business is doing. The idea of what the goal should be is going to be your yardstick. You know that your goals or objectives should be, you know what your goals and objectives should be. And an objective actually should have the following characteristics. One, an objective should be specific. This simply means it should be clear and to the point. It should not have double meanings. It should be clear and up to the point. And your objective also should be measurable. You should be able to measure that objective. Like you should be able to measure it to say, this amount has been achieved. Then the same objective should be achievable. It should be doable. You should be able to realize that objective. It should also be realistic, should be sensible and reasonable. And it should also be time-bound, meaning you should have a specific period in which that objective should be achieved. Okay? And if you planned well, you identified what the jobs or tasks should be done. You will have identified what you need to, what you want to do. The activities should come out clear to say these are the activities which should be done at this particular time. You should also indicate who should do these tasks, who is going to carry out these activities, when the tasks should be done, when in a year should this task be done. For example, a farmer will start just before the planting season, the rain season. That's when they will start planting. That is a specific time. Where the task would be done, this is the place, and how the task would be carried out. All this should be in your business plan. Then the same will also spill into your budget. You also drew up a budget in which you focused on the income and expenditure. So this is what you will compare with the actual. As you are doing the actual job, then you compare with what is written in your budget and in your business plan to see whether you are moving in the right direction. At this time of appraising your business, you are comparing the actual performance with what you planned to do. You now want to find out whether performance is exceeding what you planned, meaning performance you are overperforming, or performance is at the same level as what you planned, or performance is lower or it's falling short, lower than what you planned. If the evaluation shows that business is performing to expectation, which means it is performing just as you planned, you will be happy that you are meeting your goals. You may be encouraged to find out whether there is room for improvement and do that. If, on the other hand, you find out that performance has fallen short of what you planned, you should strive actually to find out the causes of the shortfall. Why have I failed to meet my target? Then make adjustments or control, so that you should be able to come back to your business plan. As a businessman or woman, monitoring and evaluation is essential for success because it forms part and parcel of early warning systems to enable you control your business, especially in terms of how well you manage money. Or doing the above will help to sustain your business. So that is monitoring and evaluation. It is very important. If you do not regularly monitor and evaluate your business, you will find out that after a period, when you check your records, you find that you have actually spent your capital and you have no more money to do business. So please regularly evaluate and monitor your business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So before we open the phone lines, let me just give you another point, which is poor quality of goods and services. A successful entrepreneur is one who satisfies the customer in terms of quality of goods and services. What is quality? Quality is conformance to requirements. You can write it down. Quality means to conform to the requirements or to meet the expectations of the customer. That is quality. Quality talks about the goodness of the product or service. So timely supply of this merchandise is good quality service and meeting the needs of the customer. So a businessman or a businesswoman who constantly overlooks the aspect of satisfying the customer will eventually fail in their business. In this tough environment, it is very, very easy, for you to be overcome by competition if you don't really put a lot of effort in the area of quality. So let us ensure that our services are of good quality. Whether you are a street vendor, you can still have good quality service. It doesn't matter because the principles are the same. But let us invest in good quality. If you have a hardware shop, please ensure that your services and your goods are of good quality. Tell the people the truth. Buy products which are durable. Maybe you've got a cell phone accessory shop. When someone comes to buy a charger, let that charger work at least for over a year. It shouldn't just work for a week and then they come back, it's not working. Whether it is laptop cables, let us learn to provide good quality goods and services. If you are a transporter, learn to provide good quality services. Drive, if you have a bus, let your drivers drive safely at the right speed. Let them not drive drunk. Let them not overspeed. Let them not overtake carelessly. Because most accidents that happen, more than 90% of the time, it is because of reckless driving. Good services will ensure that you take care of the customers. Well, dear learners, we have looked at 10 points so far regarding, how we can do our businesses better, and regarding how we can avoid business failure as small businesses. So we have said that most businesses fail because of poor financial practices, because of fear, lack of inclusiveness, ignorance, inability to scan the environment, managerial weaknesses, dependency factors, poor business ethics, monitoring and evaluation, and we have talked about poor quality services. We still have a few more that we'll be able to give you, but at this time, let us open the phone lines. The number to dial is 0978 383 141. 0978 383 141. And I've seen there's already a caller, and we're going to call them back so that we can get their question and we can endeavor to answer those questions.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Alex Shindikinya calling from Solid Main Market.
My friend, Mr. Shinjikinya, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Your question, sir.
Yes, my question is that to be honest, in business, there is a bakery in Solwezi which buys the plastic from Aish.
Yes.
2 or 3 times a week.
Yes.
Then the last time they came and they asked me the address from the industry where I order plastics, address and the system that I make, so that they'll stop buy from me and they'll be buying from the industry. So I told them that it's very difficult to give you the answer right now. Let me think, then I'll answer you later.
Mm-hmm.
So what can I do?
Okay.
Yes.
That's a very, very good question. Thank you, my friend, Mr. Shinjikinya. We'll endeavor to answer that. I will throw that question to my colleague. The question, just in case the voice was faint, for the sake of the hearers, the question by Mr. Alex Shinjikinya is that, there is this business that comes to buy plastics from him, but now they would like him to disclose the source where he buys those plastics so that they can now bypass him and start buying directly from that factory. What should he do, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Shinjikinya. That is a very difficult question, if I can say. It's difficult in that as you consider the request of your customer, you should also look at yourself. Now, if you give these people the address, they bypass you, then who remains to buy your product? You will not have anyone to buy your product. Again, if you bluntly say no, these people will think you are not honest. But if I may ask you, Mr. Shinjikinya, are you going to protect your business, or are you going to, jeopardize your business? Because definitely here is do or die. You know that these are the people who have been buying your things. Now, if you sell out, then you lose customers. They could have been the only people who were buying from you. Then now here you are selling out. I think I'll just bring it back to you as an entrepreneur, consider these two and make your decision. I'm not going to tell you to say, Mr. Shinjikinya, don't give them or give them. Tomorrow you say, I was advised wrongly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure my colleague has tackled that question very well. And Mr. Shinjikinya may not be the only one who is going through that. There may be others who have also got the same dilemma. But as we make our decisions, let us be wise, but let us also be firm to ensure that we protect our businesses. Operate ethically, but at the same time, operate in a firm manner. Well, dear learners, we have opened the phone lines 0978 383 141. As we wait for the callers, my colleague will give us the next item.
The next item is knowledgeable customers. This is like this question that Mr. Shinjikinya has brought. Nowadays, we have customers who are very knowledgeable. They know the products that they want to buy. So now, it is up to you as an entrepreneur to make sure that you understand the products so that you should be able to explain to your customers when they come to ask. Many businesses are failing, possibly because of the levels of awareness by customers. Many customers know their rights these days so well that they are able to demand quality goods and services. The existence of the Zambia Consumer Association, whose role is to protect consumers against poor goods and services, has led to those businesses in the habit of providing unsatisfactory goods and services to have challenges. Many customers are now able to make choices of which goods and services to buy. So you, the business community, should observe quality so that you avoid, losing out.
Excellent. Excellent. So we have another caller. Hello, good morning. Okay, we seem not to, this caller called us, but they're not picking. Please send us a missed call 0978 383 141. Okay, the cost of doing business can be another reason why some businesses fail. So some businesses have closed because the owners are not able to meet the costs of doing business. For example, they are unable to pay various taxes or meet payments, the various payments that, for instance, contractors have to pay or legal entities have to pay, the fire certificate charge, waste management certificates, and all those things. Okay, so our advice on this one is that before you embark on a bigger business, start where you are, grow your business steadily until you reach a level where you'll be able to pay these requirements, like the various certifications, to take your business to the next level.
The next reason actually why businesses fail is failure to access capital. For a number of entrepreneurs, access to capital is a very significant barrier or a very significant challenge to the growth and sustainability of their businesses. In the first place, a number of entrepreneurs do not have acceptable fixed assets that they can use as collateral in order to get loans with which to start or expand their businesses. This is a barrier. It can lead to failure to even start business. Secondly, the interest rates nowadays on loans are so high that many business women and men who have collateral cannot afford to get these loans. It has become too expensive to get loans. So this also can lead to failure of businesses.
Awesome. You see, just in addition to the aspect of failure to access capital, please take this tip. Do not borrow to start a business unless you have experience in that kind of business. Many small businesses are failing because they want to start a business they have never done before with borrowed money. Do not experiment with borrowed money. Start where you are, run the business as a small business, start growing your little capital, get enough experience, get enough market, then you can capitalize your business maybe through a grant or a loan. And nowadays, there are many grant funds. Keep your ear to the ground. That's why we always tell you, join the chamber, come to the chamber and tell them, look, we are stuck. What do we do in this situation? The chamber will be able to advise you, connect you, and show you how to go about accessing some of these services. Then my colleague talked about the high interest rates on loans. Yes, they're very high, especially for small businesses. But the solution to this nowadays, remember, government has been encouraging business people to form cooperatives. That cooperative that you are in is not only for fertilizer that you get which month, Mr. Mtesi? Mostly
it's usually starting from August.
August going forward. Then after the fertilizer has been acquired, it hibernates until the next season. A cooperative is a business. You can start your own bank, your own internal bank as a savings group. There are many savings groups right here in Solwezi today doing very well. Some of those savings groups were inspired by Kansanshi Foundation. Others were inspired by the Fortune World training program sponsored by Kansanshi. And they are buying shares every month within that group, and they are getting loans which are sometimes very low interest loans within themselves. So if you are 20, 30 members in that cooperative, and every month you are buying shares, one share maybe is a minimum of 100 kwacha, and you can buy as many shares as possible. I can assure you, by the end of the year, you'll be sharing out money and you're going to have sufficient capital. Why? Because you have pulled resources together. So the aspect of failure to access capital can be overcome with the cooperative model. It is very doable nowadays. We have a lot of resources among ourselves. Listen, farmers, form groups which are not only going to be for acquiring fertilizer, but they can be business entities, save money, start a transport business, open that shop which is going to be selling farm inputs. Do whatever business you want, because you have the muscle. You can pull resources together. And this system is working very, very well. Okay. The lines are still open. We have 8 minutes to go. Let us call 0978 383 141. Send us a missed call. We're going to answer you. Okay. Extension businesses are another reason for business failure. I'll talk about it briefly before my colleague talks about the next item. So a number of small and medium-sized businesses are not independent entities at all. They are outlets or branches that sell products on behalf of big companies based on, that are along the line of rail mostly. Let me give an example of the telecommunication companies. Today you have a lot of booths, phone booths, dotted around the country in every street. Those businesses are doing very well. But once these businesses do not make, when they, for instance, pull out, these extension businesses may also go down. What is the lesson there? The lesson is, as you are doing an extension business, also invest in another business which you can run and fall on in case that other extension business falls. There is a caller who we are going to call back just now. Okay, we are just waiting for the phone to ring. Okay, there we are. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Your name, ma'am, and where you're calling us from?
I'm Kezia Kampoza. I'm calling from David Compound.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, please, your question.
Yes, sir. My question is, what do not the entrepreneurs just make one decision in order to make the business to hire?
Please come again.
Why do not the entrepreneurs just make one decision in order to make the business to hire?
In order to make the business to do what?
Yes.
To hire.
Yes, sir.
Okay, meaning, ma'am, please explain so we can understand your question.
Okay, sir.
Please explain again what you mean.
Why do not the entrepreneurs just make one decision in order to make the business to hire?
Okay. Are you able to understand the question, sir?
Well, I think maybe she says, why don't entrepreneurs, make one decision, see, so as to maybe grow their business.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that is the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, my colleague will take that one up.
Madam, I think it's a very good question indeed. But now it's up to the entrepreneurs themselves, especially those that are doing the same thing. I have in mind here these people who are found around the Katondo Street, those who are doing hardware. These people, they regularly meet, and you will find that they will only say one thing. So if it's a slasher and it's costing 50 kwacha, then you will find all of them will be selling that slasher at 50 kwacha. Why? Because they have come together and they have decided to say, well, this is the slasher and the buying price is this. Now our markup is going to be this. And they arrive at that price. So that is one way in which entrepreneurs can actually come together and work towards making their prices uniform. As for other issues, it would be very difficult because each business has its own vision and its own objectives. So if I have in my enterprise my own objective, these objectives are not the same as my friends. So they are difficult, they are different there. So we may find that we differ because we have different ideas. So that's why we find that some of these entrepreneurs fail to agree because they have different visions, different objectives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are in the dying minutes of the program. We have 2 minutes, so I'll very quickly give you the last 2 points. The other reason why businesses fail is failure to manage competition. So we need to position ourselves as business people by putting systems, quality services in place so that we'll be able to manage competition and stand the test of time. Failure to manage change is another reason why businesses may fail. So we need to realize that we are living in a consistently changing environment, and we need to manage change very, very well. Otherwise, our businesses may fail. So let's manage change by moving with the times, by embracing new practices and new technology according to the times that we are living now. In conclusion, this presentation has attempted to look at why businesses are failing. Some of the causes originate from the entrepreneurs themselves. Others may come from the community or the environment where we operate from, or in which the business operates, and still others may be national or international in nature. But no matter what challenge you may be facing, the onus or the responsibility is on the entrepreneur to equip themselves and face these challenges head on. So let us be persistent, let us endure, and believe in ourselves, believing in yourself and knowing that you are part of the solution to overcoming those challenges that are found in running that particular business. Dear learners, the time is 10 hours exactly, and we have come to the end of today's training program. Our next training programs will be in the first week of April. We are going to contact you again. For those of you who follow us, if you want to be included on the list of participants that we will be able to call and put on our program, please send us a message and with your full names and your NRC number, and we'll be able to include you on the list. My number is 0978 383 141. Let me once again thank the sponsor, Kansanshi Mining PLC, for bringing us this very good program on this important platform. Thanks to our partners, Beats FM, for this platform where we are able to come and discuss with the masses on important issues to do with business development. Until we meet next time, it's goodbye and God bless.